So if you have an EDLA panel and you are part of the IT department, there's some settings that you're going to want to know about just to make sure your panel is running optimally. First thing is we need to get into the owner account. So if you've not set up your panel yet, be sure to go back and watch our video on how to set it up and get that owner account created. We're going to swipe up and we're just going to enter the PIN code so that we can get into the owner account. Now, none of the users should have access to it. This account is strictly for IT. What we're going to do now is we're going to get into settings. You can get to settings a couple different ways. You can swipe down from the top and go to the settings button, or you can swipe up to go to all apps and you'll see that the settings icon is here. Now, a few things to know about. One, under display, you'll see that display has a screen timeout. Now, it should be set default to never, but if you're getting complaints about, oh, the panel's turning off early, this might have gotten changed. So you wanna set it to never because after 30 minutes, it is going to shut off and go to the lock screen. The next thing you're gonna notice is that there's this advanced menu. Now, when you try to click advanced, it's gonna ask for a passcode because it's a protected set of settings. So when you access this, you're gonna need to create another PIN code. And then it's gonna take you into these settings. So you're gonna be able to come in here, change things like HDMI settings. You'll notice that you can change things like if unknown sources, so you can sideload apps and things like that. That's gonna be important. The next thing you're gonna notice is that if you keep scrolling down, there's gonna be this password and accounts option. This is where if someone's added a Google account, you can remove it. This is especially helpful if you're logged into a user account and they have multiple Google accounts and you need to remove one, but you don't want to remove the whole profile. You can do that there. Next, if we go down to about device is really important. If you ever need to share information with ViewSonic because you're troubleshooting, we're going to ask for some of this information, specifically the model number, and then of course the build number, which is all the way down there at the bottom. Finally, we're gonna have our system options. The system options are important because it can turn on things like the sidebar. You'll notice that there's this launcher scheme. Most EDLA devices are gonna be on launcher scheme A because that's how you can use the Google Play Store and have multiple user profiles. If you switch to launcher scheme B, this is intended to be used for basic or simplified mode, which generally means you don't have multiple users who also need Google Apps. So the easiest way to remember this is that if you want teachers to sign in with their Google accounts and use Google Drive and Google Apps and all that, you probably want Scheme A. If you don't want that, then you can choose Scheme B. By default, it should be on Scheme A, but this lets you switch back and forth if you need to. The next thing, obviously your sidebars, making sure those are turned on. This is where you can check for system updates anytime there's new firmware. Multiple users, so this is where you can come in and remove users from a panel. Again, only the owner can do this. You'll also notice that there's an option to add users from the lock screen. This is turned on by default, and what that does is it lets anyone walk up to the panel and add their account. If you don't want that, you can disable this, and then people can't add their own accounts. You can still add them, you just have to do it from the owner account. So it requires a little more setup time because you as the IT have to be the person who's adding the account because you have to get into the owner account to do this, but it also helps prevent just random people adding their Google accounts. And then finally, you're gonna notice the reset options. The reset options are where you can do a factory reset if you need to reset the device back to defaults. Now, if you are using an IFP 52 2ED or one of our IFP 51 series, we have a separate video that covers a few additional settings in regards to those panels, so be sure to check out that video. And also, if you're using that simplified mode or that launcher scheme B, we also have another video that kind of goes over the settings in that scheme because those settings are also simplified.